Today we'll be looking at a romantic comedy called The Romcom Where the Childhood Friend Won't Lose. Spoilers ahead. Suehara Maru falls for classmate, school idol, and award-winning novelist Shirokusa Kachi, and they develop a friendship. He is also childhood friends with the other school idol, Kuroha Shida, who had confessed to him recently, but was turned down due to his feelings for Kachi. In class, he overhears that Kachi is in a relationship with Mitsuru Abe, causing him to fall into a deep depression. Shida arrives to cheer him up and helps to convince him to get revenge on Kachi and Abe by starting a fake relationship with her in order to make Kachi jealous and upstage them. All the while, Shida uses this opportunity to get closer to Maru and get him to eventually fall for her. Maru meanwhile tries to dig up dirt on Abe, but is unsuccessful, as he is confronted by the man himself, who reveals he knows Maru used to be a child actor. After revealing he knows that Maru used to be a famous child actor and star of a popular soap opera, Abe continues that he inspired him to enter acting, and that his relationship with Kachi is all part of a ploy to get revenge on him after learning he liked her. Planning to formally confess to her at the school's upcoming festival, Maru decides the best way to upstage him is for their class to put on a play for the festival, which he manages to convince Kachi to write, even as Shida surprisingly reveals their relationship to the class. While practicing, Maru suddenly hyperventilates and passes out. He awakens with Kachi watching over him, and when she reveals she knows he used to be an actor and asks why he quit. He reveals that after his mother died in an accident on set, their series was eventually put on a hiatus, and he grew traumatized and left the scene. Kachi later proceeds to reflect on everything, unveiling that she and Maru used to be friends when they were younger, with her known to him as Shiro, as her father was Maru's co-star, and that it was Maru who convinced her to keep writing. However, after the show was cancelled, they couldn't see each other anymore, so Kachi grew bitter and devoted herself to becoming a great writer as revenge for leaving her. As it turns out, that just like it is for him, he is her first love. At the start of the Confession Festival, Kachi, disguised as Shiro, visits Maru, who's happy to see him again. After she discovers that he still remembers his promise to act in one of her works, Kachi unveils herself, revealing that she had felt jealous over him always being around Shida and wanted to make him notice her. She gives him support and convinces him to start being friendlier with her. As she leaves, an eavesdropping Shida confronts her. As the two girls stake their claims to win Maru, he and Shida proceed to walk around the festival, as she tearfully breaks off their relationship, giving him the push to make his own choice. During the closing ceremony, Abe puts on a song and dance routine for Kachi, which Maru arrives and upstages. As he's about to confess his feelings to Kachi, he instead reveals his initial plans for revenge, and that while he did love her, he confesses to Shida instead, who he realizes had always been there for him, shocking Shida and devastating Kachi. However, to everyone's surprise, Shida happily rejects him. Afterwards, Maru's friends Kai and Abe discuss how Abe was playing the bad guy, as Kachi's fake boyfriend as part of her ploy to get Maru to confess to her. They also figure out that Shida only rejected Maru as revenge for herself being rejected and regrets it, as the two lament that everyone lost. Meanwhile, a girl watches a video of the performance on her phone, recognizing Maru. Maru continues to feel distressed over the confession's failure, while the girl's also distressed over how everything turned out. Maru also learns Kai's uploaded the video of his performance and confession, which has gone viral to his further annoyance. He's surprised by the arrival of Maria Momosaka, a popular actress who he acted as a mentor to, who expresses her happiness to see him again, to Kachi's and Shida's irritation. Kai later introduces Maru to Reina Asagi, a first-year and old friend of his who's incredibly helpful to him. Kachi arrives appearing to ask Maru out, only for her friend, Meiko Mine, to clarify her father wants to see him again after hearing about his supposed return to acting. Just as Shida reappears, still traumatized over the rejection, Maru retreats into himself, hiding behind Kachi, forcing Shida to tearfully leave. Both Maru and Shida are supported by Kai separately as they try to decide what they want. Maru arrives home to find Momosaka already there, having made dinner, and reveals that her agency, now run by the previous head son, wants to convince Maru to return to acting, as well as Shida too. Just then, Shida's siblings suddenly appear, telling Maru that Shida has amnesia. After Momosaka messes around with Maru and the Shida siblings a bit before leaving, the sisters reveal that Shida has supposedly lost all her memories since her initial confession to Maru. Despite still being hard for him to get closer to her after the rejection, he resolves to help her in any way he can. Shida herself tells him that she wants to start over so she can rebuild their trust. Kachi then arrives to give the two a ride, and sensing Shida's jealousy, believes she's faking the amnesia, so Maru comes up with a plan to test it. At lunch, he feeds her a bento with octopus wieners, as a traumatic incident in their past made it so that she's sensitive to certain taste. However, she proceeds to eat it with no problem. As the two discuss about Maru's potential going back into acting, Kachi and Kai barge in to offer their own opinions. Kai reveals that he wants to start producing videos with his entertainment club, and Kachi writing scripts, and tries to convince Maru to accept. To decide what he wants, he goes to visit the agency with Shida, Kachi, Kai, and Momosaka accompanying him. The president, Shun Hardy, tempts them with an over $100 million deal. However, Shida still declines the offer. As Hardy continues to insist she take the deal and proceeds to insult her over it, Maru retaliates, pouring a bottle of wine over him. After Hardy threatens to report them to the police, Kachi's father and Momosaka manage to compromise by suggesting a competition. Both the agency and Maru's group, the Ultramarine Alliance, will produce a commercial for the pharmaceutical company, and if the alliance wins, they can do whatever they want. But if they lose, Maru has to join the agency. Momosaka decides to act in the agency's commercial to show off to Maru how much she's grown. Despite some initial doubts, the Ultramarine Alliance ends up winning the competition, and Maru decides to stick with them. Meanwhile, it is revealed that Shun is Kai's father, and that he started the Alliance / initially became friends with Maru just to get revenge on him. After having also escaped the contract at the agency, Momosaka transfers into Maru's class to Shida and Kachi's annoyance. Later that night, Maru catches Shida in a lie, confirming she faked her amnesia. Maru and Shida get into a fight over Shida lying to him about the amnesia, and Maru's inability to figure out why she did it in the first place. At the same time, Kachi schemes with Kai to get ahead in the race. At the Ultramarine Alliance, the boys suggested a trip to Okinawa to have some summer memories. The girls initially rejected the idea of filming their swimsuits, but reluctantly gave in when that's asked. Due to having to watch her sisters, Shida has to come with them the following day. Later that night, Aoi arrives to help Maru, where she gives him advice warning him about the magic of travel, and trying to hook up with someone in that environment. After Kachi checks back in with Kai, it is revealed that Rena is Kai's half-sister who wants to keep their family connection a secret. The group, plus Momosaka's sister, Eri, prepares for the trip as Kachi and Momosaka argue about each other's cooking abilities and decide to have a competition. After they decided to have the competition be a hot pot, Kachi is depressed as she's no good with hot pots, and wanted to make fried chicken, Maru's favorite food, instead. Overhearing Maru and Kai discussing his feelings for Kachi and Shida, Momosaka tries to plan a way for her to get closer. The group arrive to Kachi's family villa, where they start to relax. Meanwhile, Shida attempts to hold back her jealousy, imagining how close the other girls could be getting to Maru. He later gets a text from Kachi to see her privately at a separate corner of the beach, where she seductively shows off her swimsuit. The rest of the group proceed to spy on them and stop them before they go too far. Kachi attempts to practice their dance routine, but runs into some trouble. That night, Kachi dejectedly returns to the beach, where she is confronted by Maru as she discusses about everything she is anxious about. The two nearly kiss, until Maru remembers Aoi's words and stops. The next morning, Maru awakens greeted by Shida and her sisters. The sisters arrive as Maru and Shida continue to act antagonistic towards each other. She decides to confront him, and still refusing to forgive her until she apologizes. She goes for a more proactive approach, constantly saying "I love you" to him throughout the day, causing Maru to be annoyingly flustered. However, when they later work on their study sessions, Maru realizes the extra work that Shida put into the assignment for him, and starts to appreciate her more. While setting up the stage for the girls' performance, Akane voices her confused feelings for seeing Maru with so many other girls. Later that night, Maru spots Kachi practicing for the dance, despite a slightly sprained ankle she got earlier, as he cheers her on to succeed. At the same time, Akane spies on them, which Aoi realizes is because she has started to develop a crush on Maru, which she has been trying to prevent for herself to avoid the pain. The next day, the girls put on their successful performance, when Kachi nearly falls off the stage. Maru saves her, though resulting in him breaking his arm. Back at school, Abe meets up with Kai to discuss the ongoing developments, with the latter surmising that Kachi is currently in the lead due to being the type of girl Maru likes. Maru learns that Kachi and her maid will be moving in to take care of them to Shida's discomfort. Shida and Momosaka attempt to spend the night at Maru's place alongside Kachi, but don't receive permission from their parents. Aoi and Akane also start to keep their distance from Maru, to his disappointment. As they all leave, Kachi declares to Shida her intention to use the situation to get closer to Maru. At the same time, Kachi's maid, Shionoragi, tells Maru that Shida's only doing everything out of a sense of respect and to not get any ideas. Momosaka starts her first day at their school, where she uses all of her free time flirting with Maru, causing all the boys to get jealous and Kachi to get annoyed. Kachi proceeds to feed him during lunch, causing him to feel confused based on Aragi's comments. He chats with Shida on the roof as they start to reconcile. Kai reveals to the Ultramarine Alliance they've received an offer for a documentary series about Maru's life since his disappearance. Shida is unsure, but Kai convinces Maru, asking if he wants to get closure on his own merits. He devises a plan to compromise, having the Alliance produce the documentary themselves, as well as throwing in Maru filming a new version of the final scene of his previous drama, Child King, which he accepts. Sometime later, the girls meet up to discuss putting up boundaries so they can't openly flirt with Maru, while also scheming a way to get closer to him through the documentary. The group learns that several tabloids have started printing out stories based on Maru's past, which Kai believes Shen Hardy to be responsible. Despite this, they all still persist to move forward with the documentary and the true ending, which Kai reveals is now backed by Collect Japan TV. Momosaka suggests having each of the girls interview him since they all have some connection to his past. Kachi starts first, inviting him to her home, where they end up reminiscing on their old friendship and how Maru helped her get over her nervousness, ending with the two of them going on a date to Tokyo Tower. The following day, Momosaka takes her turn, where she takes him to the place his mother had died, in order for him to reconcile his feelings over the incident. She intends to use this opportunity for her to support him in his lowest moment. However, after he explains his lonely feelings after her death, Momosaka breaks down, due to her own love for his mother and her regret over the nasty words she said to him back then. This leads to Maru, who initially felt like he couldn't cry, start to tear up as the two embraced each other. After returning home, Momosaka continues to stake her claim on Maru. Back at school, Kai reveals that due to the other actors from Child King having retired, Shida and Kachi will be acting alongside Maru and Momosaka in the true ending. Shida walks home with Maru as she reflects on her life with him and when it was she started to fall for him. She takes him to an old hiding spot that he used to go to as they reminisce on their good memories. Shida confesses her love to Maru again, as well as revealing she rejected him as revenge for being rejected initially, which Maru is finally happy to hear the reasoning. However, when she asks him for his answer, he is unable to respond right away, due to the lingering feelings he has for Kachi and Momosaka. Before he can answer, Shida stops, realizing his thoughts, and instead proposes she become his childhood girlfriend, a promise that they'll remain as close as they want to each other, while still leaving things open if their feelings change in any way. After the documentary is released, Abe goes to visit Kai once again, where he reveals all of the girls scheming in Shida's plan, with Abe surmising Kai won out in the end. Later, Maru learns that there is a fan club for him formed in the school, which he is bashful about. All the while, the girls plan to not let them get in their way. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed it, be sure to let us know by leaving a like. Subscribe for more stories and check out other stories here. Howdy, I'm Juicebox Vivo, or you can just call me Juice. I did the narration for today, and if you like what you heard, don't hesitate to check out my social links down below. Thank you.